Now back to the story, the big story around the world, the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. A retired Duke professor and his wife are among those in our area whose loved ones were taken hostage by Hamas.
Stanley and Marion Robboy have lived here in the Triangle. They've been here for 30 years, and 8 of their relatives were taken hostage, and one of them does still remain in custody.
The Robboys both join us now live to discuss the ceasefire deal and what comes next. Thank you so much for joining us.
So welcome, and thank you for allowing us to speak.
Let's start with just your reaction today to the news and tell us what you were feeling when you first heard that a ceasefire deal was reached.
I mean, it brought me to tears, to find out that after 460 days, there's finally some movement. And the reaction was overwhelming.
Eight of your relatives were held hostage by Hamas at one point. 7 of them returned home. How are they doing?
Well, we don't really know. I am in touch with my cousin, Shoshan, and I spoke to her today, and she is not really celebrating yet because she does not know when her son-in-law, a father and a son and a husband, and here is his picture. Hold it up. This is Tal Shoham, and my cousin Shoshan, who this is his son-in-law, doesn't know when he will be free. Right now, we know for sure that the 3 or 5 Americans that are held hostage will be freed, actually as soon as Sunday, I believe. And among them is Keith Siegel, whose sister actually lives here and is a friend of mine. He's been in custody for 460 days. Yes. Unbelievable to realize what 460 days really mean.
Exactly.
Of course, Keith is someone who we've discussed a lot here at 7 o'clock on WRAL. I do want to play a quick clip from one of his friends who heard the news today, and then hopefully get your response. So let's listen for just a moment.
I firstly hope that his head and his heart are intact. His wife, Aviva, has been out for some time and she's been working tirelessly, but the conditions she described that she faced with him seemed to be things that would challenge anybody to maintain their sanity. So I really hope that he comes back with his spirit intact and can come back and be the kind of person he always was.
We're hoping to get your reaction to that, as well as, how you feel about your family members who are part of this deal, who will be released, as well as your cousin, Tal Shoham, who is not on that list to be released.
No, he's not, and we hope that, soon, he too will be released, among all the other hostages. Right now, I feel really sad for my cousin, Shoshan. She knows that, he will be released, but she's counting the days. He is, a young man. He's 38 or 39, and he is a father and he's a husband. And, it is for her such a terrible thing to have to witness. She and the entire family actually was taken hostage on October 7. And only, everybody was released except for Tal. Mm. And she told me how hard it is for the children who still wake up in the middle of the night and cry and want their father. The most touching thing is to know that the 2 children and the wife are writing letters to their husband and their father every single day. And of course, he doesn't get to see it. But when I look at what they write, it just breaks my heart.
Well, we sure hope that he is going to be getting freed very soon. And just for folks who may not know, part of the reasoning why Keith Siegel is in that first group is because they prioritize in these release deals, they prioritize women, children, and elderly. And Keith Siegel is 65 years old, so that's part of it. When you think about the way that these phases are going to be going through, does Siegel's American citizenship, in your mind, have a lot to do with why he's in that first phase?
Yes, it does. It has a lot to do with it. I think the Americans actually, the 5 Americans that are being held hostage will be the first ones to be released. And I think it's important to know that once they are released, the Americans will not have any responsibility anymore. for the release of the other hostages.
Well, thank you.
Also, if I can just add,
Yeah.
when you asked about coming back, Shashan and the family will be obviously excited that they're coming back, but they will also remember that Shashan's husband was killed, and he will not be coming back. Her sister was killed, her husband was killed. So many of the people that are so close to them, they are dead, and they will forever be gone.
So many
It's
families.
very hard, for them to, face this reality.
Yeah.
They know it, but facing the reality once they're released is going to be very hard.
And they will always remember that 90 of their other, close friends who were there, they have been murdered. They're gone.
Kibbutz Be'eri, where all this, where all the families lived, has been really, really badly attacked. And quite the big question is, will it ever be rebuilt, and will these people ever go back to their kibbutz?
Well, we hope that you are back with your family members very soon. Stanley and Marion, thank you so much for your time tonight.